went to the same university, and we read history and international relations. What did I say? History and international relations. Okay, so how many of you want to be historians here? Nobody. Amaka, where's Amaka? I'm not sure we wanted to read history, so did you want to read history? Okay, I didn't want to read history, but that was where I found myself, but I now like it. So how many of you want to be doctors here? Okay, we have a lot of doctors in the house. How about lawyers? Okay. Ambassadors. Do you know what an ambassador does? Okay. An ambassador is someone who represents his country in another country. Do you understand? As I'm here now, I can be an ambassador of Nigeria to the US. Where is the US? You guys are not following. What's going on now? Where is the US? United States of America. Okay. So I will just tell a brief history of the African story. But before I start, can someone tell me the meaning of history? Anybody? History. What does history mean? I want it to be as interactive as possible. I want all of us to communicate, and I want everybody to listen. So please, can I get your responses? What is history? Anybody? Okay, I'll come to you. Can you hear him?
No.
What is history?
History is past events.
Thank you. That's very correct. Someone else in another word.
Something like past revenge.
Past revenge. What does that mean?
Something that's past.
Something that's happened before. Okay, thank you.
Telling the story about the thing that happened in the past.
I think this guy has something for history. Since I came here, he has been. I think you should be an historian. It's a nice course. What do you think? It's close to law. Think about it. Okay, so history is the study of past events. But history is not just the study of past events. If history is the study of past events, then some things that are not so relevant would also take place in history, and all of us will be carrying it on our head like it's very important. So I would say history is the study of past important events. What did I say? Okay, I want your voices to be louder than mine. History is what? Okay, thank you. So, in Africa, a long time ago, we had some white people coming to the continent. You know Africa is a continent, right? How many continents do we have? Okay, you know that. Thank you. So, Africa is one of the continents. Now, those white people, where are they from? Africans are black. Me and you, we are black, we are Africans. Anybody? Okay.
The British.
Okay. Britain is a country in that continent. I'm looking for the continent. What is the continent? Okay, I think I should go to this side. Somebody from this side. Come out, one person. Continent is Europe. So that was what she wanted to say. She wanted to say Europe, but she said hero. So what's the continent? You guys, are you sure you're not just following in class and you're doing the way you say our father, you not say our father 2 times 11. Africa. In Europe that time, Europe was very developed. You know, they had, I'm sure you've seen it in movies, fine cars, fine houses and all that. But Africa, on the other hand, was like a village. You know the way a typical village is. You see women hawking on their heads, selling their food and all that. So they needed a place where they could sell their markets. and that was why they came to Africa. What did I say? Who needed a place? The Europeans. They needed a place to sell their market, so they came to Africa, right? So when they came to Africa for many reasons. On the other hand, they came to Africa to give us Christianity. The Christianity we all practice today came from Europe. Do you understand? So they said they came here to come and tell us to stop all those things we used to do. Do you remember that back in the days, Africans used to kill twins? They believed twins were evil. How many of you know that story? How many of you have heard of Mary Slessor? So she was also part of those Europeans that came to Africa, to give us Christianity. So they came for many reasons. But on getting here, okay, how many of you know that history is very wide? As I'm saying one thing, then I remember that I should say another. But I'll try to make it very short. Do you know that America is different from Europe? You guys know that, right? So the Europeans discovered America. They found a place called America. That was like in the 15th century, sometimes in 1492 or thereabout. The person who discovered America was who? There's one popular name people always say. You should know it. Yes? Be fast, let's be fast. I don't have time. Who? Washington. No. That was the president.
Lord Bugatti.
No. Know that name? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you knew the name. So it was Christopher Columbus that discovered America. So now when they got to America, they wanted to plant a lot of things. So when they got to America, they found some people there. Now those people there are those they call the Red Indians. The Red Indians. They look like Bushmen like this. So they employed those people to be doing their plans for them in that place. So when they now started, those people were not strong enough. They were just dying like chickens. So they now said, what do we do? What do we do so that our plantation will not finish like this? Then they discovered that there was one place in the world called Africa. And that Africa, our men, Africa, is very strong. Africans now, we can work very hard. Under the sun, in the rain, we're always working. So they now came to Africa. They now saw that we're very strong. So they needed to take us to America. Are you following what I'm saying? So they wanted us to help them to do their farm work in where? America. Thank you. So when they now came, they deceived us. They were giving us small things like powder, like mirror, some small things. And because we did not know anything, when we saw mirror, you saw that you see yourself, you're like, is this me? We now decided to follow them. We did not know what they wanted. We decided to follow them. We did not know what they wanted to use us for. So that was what led to what? The slave trade. Are you following? Yes, ma'am. Now, the slave trade. Okay. The slave trade, they will come, pack all the young people in Africa. They will not take our old men, no. They will not take our grandfathers. They were taking the strong people. They will take them from Lagos here. Imagine walking from here to Badagry. Do you know how far it is? Very far. Imagine walking from Kano to Lagos. That was how they treated us. They treated us like slaves. They even tied our hands and our legs. I was going to demonstrate it, but I don't think I have so much time. Or do you want me to demonstrate? Yes. Okay. Can I have somebody come and tie my hand and my leg, please? Oh, yeah. The way. So they will not be walking like this. You cannot tie it. Okay, you can. Oh, yeah, it's okay. Don't tie it too hard. So imagine tying my leg like this and I'm walking like this. From here to Badagry, from Kano to Badagry. What happened? So that was how our parents, our forefathers suffered. When we got there, they will still keep us for days, months, even years before their ship will come from Europe and pack us. They pack so many people, not just in Nigeria, other African countries, all the African countries, they were just packing people anyhow. So some people died. Imagine going for months without food. Hello, are you following? Yeah. When you don't eat, what will happen? We die. When you don't drink water, what will happen? Yeah.
Clean your nose.
Slaves. So finally, when the ship finally came, they now packed. Imagine packing like 1 million people inside one small place. They packed everybody there. So some people will food there, pee there, vomit there, everything there. So it was not healthy. People kept dying. Africans kept dying. Until one day, they got to Europe, America. They started to work on the plants. As they are working on the plants, tilling the soil like farmers like this, they still did not give them food to eat. In fact, there was a part of history that said that anytime those people are doing their sugar cane, ginger and everything on the farm, if they try to eat something and the white man sees them, he will now decide to punish them. So when he saw that they were always eating his plants, he now went there, used something to make hole through their mouth like this and put padlock on their mouth so that they will not eat. Africans suffered. Some Africans even tried to run, but they could not run. So this thing continued for up to 300 years. Can you imagine? They took all our healthy people, they took them to Europe, they took them to America. Now Europe and America, they are very fine. Africa is still coming up. Do you understand? So that is just a brief story, a brief history of the slave trade. One day, God decided that, okay, let me look on the fate of Africans. And then slave trade ended. That was sometime in the 19th century. Hello? So when slave trade ended, some Africans were able to return back from Europe and America back to their home. And that was what led to the rise of some towns in Africa, like Freetown. Have you heard of Freetown before? Freetown in Sierra Leone. Or even Liberia. That was where they dumped plenty of those ex-slaves from Europe and America. Did you enjoy my story? Yes. What's going on this side? You're not responding. Should I come and stand here? Okay. So after that, Africans, the white men now came again. Ask me what they wanted to do. Ask me now. What they wanted to do? They now saw that, okay, these people are wise, so they have stopped slave trade. We don't have them again. Let's come and take over their land. So they now came to Africa. They now started sharing the African continent. Some parts of Africa, West Africa, Britain took over it. Some parts of West Africa as well, France took over it. Some parts of East Africa, Belgium and Italy and some other countries took over it. Africans don't want them to come. So some people started fighting. They started resisting. They did not want them to come. Those white men were now like that, okay, let's take over these people. Hello? So they now started to control all our resources. They now started ruling us. But some Africans resisted. Like there's a country in Africa, close to the Horn of Africa. I don't know if you're familiar with the African map. Do you know the African map? The map of Africa came said, no, we will not allow these people to come and take over our land. So they fought very hard. And the white men were not able to stay there. That is the only country in Africa. They controlled other parts of Africa. Now, who controlled Nigeria? Who? Oh, I'm talking of during the colonial era when the white men were ruling us. Who controlled Nigeria? The British. Thank you very much. Please, I need something. Mom, where are you? Britain. When did we get our independence from Britain? I know you have collected gifts. Anybody, the fastest person should come here and tell me where we collected our independence from Britain. When in 1960? Okay, I'm not happy now because you're not even responding. Should I just go back to my seat? So they did not want the white people to be controlling us. Do you understand? So they now left us. The white people left us. That was when we got our independence. So we had leaders like, hello? We had leaders like Herbert Macaulay, Obafemi Awolowo, Tafawa Balewa, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Ivan Ikoku. So when we now got our independence, can somebody tell me who was the first leader we had in Nigeria in 1960? Somebody with the loudest voice should talk. No, that was when Lord Lugard was the leader before we got our independence. Now, when we collected our independence, yes, but they were two. Nnamdi was the president, somebody was the prime minister. Who was the prime minister? Thank you, Tafawa Balewa. So, I will not say the rest of the story because my colleague will come and continue. But did you enjoy the African story?
Yes.
That is my own perspective of the African story. Now, we talked about the slave trade. What do you think were some of the effects of that trade? Imagine taking all the young people, leaving Africa like that with only old men. What do you think were the bad things that happened? Yes. That we all want to visit because they are very fine. But that is the African swear, the African label. So now that we all know this and we are still young, what do you think we can do to repair our continent, to repair our country? Hello? So can anybody tell me, what do you think we can do to repair our country, to make our country better? Anybody? Thank you. Now that is part of the reasons why we are here. Speak Life Africa believes that we all can be leaders of tomorrow. Do you believe you're a leader of tomorrow? Yeah. Do you believe that when you grow, you can change the country to make it a better place? Yeah. People on this side, what's going on? Do you believe you can make Nigeria and Africa a better place? Yeah. So that is why we are here. I hope you know that all the things you learn here today can make you leaders of tomorrow. Yes. Okay, so I think I'll stop here. Did you enjoy the African story? Yes. Thank you very much.
Please, a round of applause for Auntie. A round of applause. A round of applause. Drop your jacket. DJ, look at. Please, let this happen. Walker on stage. Walker on stage.
years ago, exactly May 29, 1999. I am sure every single one of you've not been given at that period. Every single one of you, Nigeria became a democratic state again after over 2 decades, over 20 years of military rule. Thank you very much. You can sit down. Sit down. So the answer to the question that the MC was asking was May 29, 1999. That was when Nigeria became a democratic state again, a democratic country. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
No.
Okay. Nigeria became a democratic state again May 29. Can you write it down somewhere? I see you have your pen. Nigeria became democratic state. Nigeria became a democratic state again May 29, 1999. 1999. Do you have that? Do you have it over here? May 29, 1999. 1999. That was when Nigeria became a democratic state. However, I hope you have that already.
Yes.
Okay, this is what I intend to do. I intend to give you my observations. I intend to create a picture in your heart before I leave here today, and of course, give my own. 1999, when Nigeria became a democratic state again, Nigeria once upon a time been democratic. For example, in 1960, October 1, 1960, when Nigeria became independent, we inherited a system of government from our colonial masters. Who were the colonial masters? Who colonized Nigeria? Which country? Britain. From Britain, Nigeria we inherited a system. It was a democratic system that was handed over to us. But however, 6 years after, Nigeria became independent October 1, 1960, right? However, 6 years after, 1966, we experienced, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, Nigeria experienced something that was called the military rule. How many of you here, you understand what the military means? The word military. Let me see your hands. Military. Very few of you. Okay, let me have an example. Now let's march. These were the military that took over Nigeria in 1960. They came forcefully and took our lands from us. They came forcefully, and for over 20 years, they ruled this country. Thank you. Now you know what the military is. The military are the soldiers, those that you see on the streets, that wear the green, that wear blue, depending on the particular as a cadet of military that they are. They took over this country in 1966 forcefully. From these people that you see, I have an advocate of Buhari here, a particular boy that has been shouting Buhari. Yes, yes, somebody that wore khaki, the military khaki, was in power for many years. And it's when you hear democracy, the opposite of democracy is military rule. Can you take that? The opposite of democratic rule is military rule. The opposite of democracy is military. There are two opposites. For example, when we have democracy and military rule. Now, I said I want to create a picture in your heart. Let me do the first thing. Who amongst us here, you are from the Niger Delta region? You are from either River State, Cross River, Bayelsa, Delta. You are from any of these states? Let me see your hand. Any of you? Any? Step out, please. Quickly, because of time. In 1995, a man from Ogoni land called Ken Saroviwa. Ken Saroviwa was a man like me. He was a writer. He was a media person. And he was an activist, a political activist like myself. He fought against the military juntas, the military rule. Remember I said the military is the opposite of democracy, right? The militaries are those that wear army uniform, right? Hope you can still remember that. Now, Ken Saroviwa and 9 others, 1995, they stood against the military rule of General Sani Abacha. Why? They were fighting for their land. It is their right to fight for their land, to Ogoni land. There was what we call, sorry, thank you. Let me leave it from the sun. There's what we call oil spillage. From the Niger Delta region, there are lots of oil. That's where Nigeria gets its oil from. What contributes about 90% of our income, what we earn as a country presently, comes from that region. Now this man, please judge, be my judge now. Now this man, Ken Saroviwa, assume that I am Ken Saroviwa. I went to you, being Abacha. And I told you, sir, our oil, our daily living in that region is basically what we are into fishing, farming. Those are the basic things that they do in that region, in Delta, in Ilasa, in Cross River, because these are riverine areas. There are lots of water in that area. Now this man went to Abacha and told Abacha, sir, the region where we live, our people can no longer live. They can't have a livelihood anymore because of the oil. When the pipeline get busted, the oil, you know petrol, right? You know petrol, crude oil, it spills into the water and it kills all the fishes, all the living things in the water. The power of this oil kills everything. Now Ken Saveluwa went to Abacha and told him, sir, please find the solution to this thing. Our people are dying. We do not have the industries like Lagos State where we have more big buildings, where we have banks and what have you over here. For those of you that have not been to Nigeria, that I've been there a couple of times, and I'll tell you, it's not like Lagos State. Not at all. Of course, some states like Port Harcourt and what have you, they are good, but can't be compared to Lagos. I'm sorry, I'm being biased because I'm a Yoruba guy, but that's just the simple truth. Now, he went to Abacha. I'm trying to picture your heart now. Please follow me. Follow me over here. Let me pay my attention. Follow me. In fact, those were one of the first things that they did when they came into office a year or two ago. They went to the Ogoni land and tried to do environmental work on that land so that the people can have a living again. You know what? Where are those guys from Niger Delta again? Where are they? Let me see your hand. The boys from Niger Delta, two of you. Okay. You know what they did to Ken Saveluwa? Your leader. They killed him. Yeah. More than 1995. They were hung. They hung them like criminals for fighting for their rights. And that's what the military will about. However, we are not going to talk about military. I'm only trying to create a picture in your heart to see the difference between what we have today. You are lucky that you did not experience military rule. I did. I experienced. I saw it firsthand. I was alive during Abacha. I was alive during Abdul Salam. I was alive during Babangida. I've been given birth to. Even though I was young, but I knew all these things. And you are not too young, because I saw someone answer All Progressive Congress. For you to have known the meaning of APC, it means that you know what government is. So I feel free to talk to you today. And I want you to understand that there is no better form of government than what we have presently. Even though it's not what we want, even though it's not what we seek, but it is the best form of government. I will tell you, probably you're all private schools, right? I attended a public school. I remembered in the 90s, we had, what's it called? Strike. We didn't go to school for like several months, like 3 months or 4 months. There was no school, and the government did not even give a damn about us. The government did not care about us. We were at home. And in the 90s, there were not much private schools. What we had was mainly public schools, government schools. Not like today where we have everywhere, private schools, everywhere. They actually were home, doing nothing, playing. The government did not care. If they want PCs, they will take out their phone and they will Google it and they will give it the answer. Right, chapter 4. Chapter 4, section 33 downwards. Chapter 4, right, chapter 4. Chapter is spelled C-H-A-P-T-E-R. Chapter 4. Chapter is spelled again C-H-A-P-T-E-R. Chapter 4, section 33, 1999 Constitution of Nigeria. Chapter 4, section 33 here. Don't mind me, I would have loved to come there, but I think if I do, the mic pencil is here. Okay, it's working now. Thank God. Oh, please. I'm going to say this to you. I might not leave this place. But you know why? Once the military, from the civilian regime, from the democratic system, you know what they did? The first thing they did was they took the constitution. The constitution of Nigeria is like something like this. They took the constitution, you know what they did? They smashed it. Constitution is dead. And that thing that like that constitution has provided that for you. What do you know what the constitution is? Do you? Who knows what the constitution is? Let me even start from there. Constitution, what's the constitution? Over 100 years ago, this was the definition of democracy. This definition I gave to you. I will explain this to you. Now watch this man. He wants to be governor. I would have loved more people around him, like 4 or 5. Okay, let's do this. Come. Or this one.
Yeah.
This one, right?
Yeah.
What about this? Who's the tallest? Who's at the top? This, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now watch this. When we gather, as many as you are here, when you gather to put one person, this is what you do. We come together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We come together